And I think everybody has somebody that has had AIDS or HIV or some critical illness, and the thoughts of them not having any food or, any help at all, let alone suffering that out with, just getting, the idea that it's healthy food makes me feel so much better handing it out.
That was Project Open Hand volunteer Dana Dawson. I'm Jeff, and this is Storied San Francisco. Every week on this podcast, you'll hear from volunteers, poets, bartenders, and San Franciscans from all walks of life, telling stories, sharing personal histories, and trying to put into words what makes this city so special. Welcome to episode 30, part 1. In this podcast, Dana shares the story of Ruth Brinker feeding her friends and neighbors who had AIDS back in 1985, and how that morphed into Project Open Hand, which serves healthy groceries and meals to sick and dying people in the Bay Area. Just a reminder to go to our website, storiedsf.com, to pledge your financial support for the show. We've got some cool gifts to send you in return. Here's Dana.
Well, Project Open Hand started in about 1985. There were people, they called it wasting. They had AIDS, and they were wasting and getting so thin and dying, and this woman that started it, Ruth Brinker, she was a retired food service worker, which I love. She's an older woman, and on her own, she said, this cannot be. And so she started feeding 7 neighbors out of her house. She started cooking dinner for 7 neighbors who had AIDS that nobody knew exactly how it was, how people got AIDS. Nobody knew about it, so they were afraid of them. And she started making dinner, delivering it with love to these 7 people. So that was in mid-1980s. Then a friend started helping her. Then they started doing it out of the basement of a church. And it was strictly for people with HIV and AIDS for many, many years for that community. Now, they serve over 30,000 meals a month. 2,200 meals a day are created. It's open 365 days a year. And they... Now, because AIDS and HIV is not such a death sentence and it doesn't carry the stigma, it still has a stigma, I think, for some people. Almost a judgment now, I think. But they've opened it up to other critical or chronic illnesses. Breast cancer patients, people with severe type 1 diabetes, critically ill of quite a few different critical illnesses, heart disease, a lot of things. And so Project Open Hand serves a community that is more than just in need, because it's all health oriented. Yeah. And they do it, their motto is food with love. Food equals love. And it's all nutritious food. I think the best feeling I get is that it is nutritious food they're giving sick people. And I think everybody has somebody that has had AIDS or HIV or some critical illness, and the thoughts of them not having any food or, any help at all, let alone suffering that out with, just getting, the idea that it's healthy food makes me feel so much better handing it out. So now it's about 125 employees and approximately 125 volunteers every single day, 7 days a week. And then they do fundraisers and different things that have more volunteers. So it is thousands of people giving thousands of hours to make 30,000 meals a month. That it couldn't happen without a massive volunteer group.
And what are all the kind of roles?
There are so many. There's something for everyone at Project Open Hand. Because it's open 7 days a week, there's kitchen work. So you don't work with clientele there. You work with other volunteers and maybe an employee. And it's chopping, slicing, dicing, all that kind of stuff. It's very fun. It's fast-paced. They have a really great chef that is in charge of every meal that they make. And so you can work in the kitchen, and they have 3 shifts a day, 7 days a week for people to, that's how much is going on in there. Then they have a warehouse where I work with my team. And we parse giant bags of things into small bags of things. We have a grocery center that people come into and they get a week's worth of groceries. They get protein, dairy, 6 eggs, lots of produce, and a little bit of brown rice or brown bread, something like that. So in the warehouse, volunteers work with other volunteers, and we parse a giant bag of beans into 8-ounce packages of beans. And it just saves so much money for them to buy in bulk, and then we do it in a weekly serving. So we do it with all kinds of stuff like, trail mix and everything like that. And then the grocery center, then our team also moves from the warehouse to the grocery center. And we meet with clients that come in there, and they have filled out a grocery list. And we go basically grocery shopping in a tiny little area and get what they need and help them pick if they don't know. And they leave with the perfect cart of groceries. It's kind of a great framework for us to go home and know that that's about how we should eat. Lean protein, low fat dairy, and then a lot of produce. And it feels really good. So you can do that. They also have volunteers delivering door to door. There's a lot of need. People are shut in. They can't get there. There's a lot of that. So they deliver door to door every night, 7 days a week. People get hot meals. And also, they have centers, 25 throughout the city, that serve seniors and people in need. So the Curry Center, all kinds of places have meals for lunchtime that people can go in. There's a lot of reason for that, too. Seniors are marginalized, just like a lot of communities. They don't have a lot of income. And sometimes they're super lonely. They don't have a reason to get out and don't know who to meet. So it gives them a place to go. It gives them a good, healthy meal and people to meet. And it really saves a lot of people just the getting out and have someone that cares enough to bring them a meal. Sure. So that's a really great one.
How does Project Hand get all this food?
They have some government funding. They do a lot of fundraising during the year. And then the food bank gives them a lot of produce.
Is it subconscious or unconscious that you're saying they?
They.
I noticed you switched when you went to the warehouse.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. The cooks were they. Do you consider it all kind of one big operation, one family? One
giant operation. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess because I'm not a paid employee, I'm saying they. I don't want to own too much of it.
Yeah.
But it was unconscious.
Unconscious. I'm not trying to nail you here. It's just something I noticed.
I do feel proud to be part of something like that. I am not Ruth Brinker. I could never come up with something like this on my own. Too bad. I'm not. But I love that it is there for people, and it's such an easy place to volunteer because it's 7 days a week and 3 shifts a day and so many shifts. There's a place for everyone. And when I think all of us volunteer because you want to contribute in some way, you can't just not contribute to this city and to people in need. I feel like that's why everyone goes there. They want to contribute.
Right. So if someone, or maybe someone's parents or a loved one wants to, I don't know the language
need
you
their
use.
Service or something?
Yeah. How do they?
So you need to, Project Open Hand serves people that are critically ill. So any doctor in the city, they know about Project Open Hand. And every 6 months, a doctor will evaluate your health and fills out a form, and you have to have that form filled out by a doctor before you go get your free food. And Project Open Hand also has social workers there to help you with other services if you need, which, there's a lot of benefit from Project Open Hand, but you do have to be recommended by a doctor to get their food.
That was Dana Dawson. Join us Thursday when we'll hear from other Project Open Hand volunteers on what their work means to them. Music for the podcast is by Otis McDonald. Film photography is by Michelle Kilfeather. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to learn about some other stuff we do besides the podcast. Find the nearly 80 episodes on our website, storiedsf.com, which is also where you can now go to pledge your support for the show. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please rate and review the show for us. Send comments or suggestions to storiedsf@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.